welcome everybody to my channel once again. So, a few days, I believe 2 days ago, I created first part of my presentation, how the world is fooling you and what to do about it. So today I'm going to cover the second part, second half of the same slideshow, the same presentation. So we have finished up until to this section 3. So let me review a little bit for those who are new. So we were talking about how the world is fooling us, how the world is fooling you, in fact, and what to do about it. How the maladaptive environment slowly affects your life. So we have covered this part, this section, how crazy politicians or people in power or some crazy person who gain some power, have some influence, start to contribute to, add up to toxic, maladaptive environment and try to hook everybody into all that, and how this thing affects your life. We have covered all this part, that this is not about pointing fingers at somebody or blaming. This is more about understanding what's going on. Although we can use some examples to understand, because obviously people have suffered, people want answers, and but it will only perpetuate, propagate the cycle further more if we get caught up into blame game and all stuff. We need to understand what is going on, and what is causing. People are all over the world at this point. People are caught up in conspiracy theories mindset. People are caught up in your cult mindset, occult mindset. All sorts of mindsets are there. People are caught up in left brain, left hand, right hand mindset. People are caught up in religion. uh, People are caught up in politics. People are caught up in nationalism, ultra nationalism. Some are against nationalism, some are anarchical groups. All sorts of madness is there. So I've covered this whole thing. So if we I use Buddhist style to explain things, using science, philosophy, and psychology, basically try to keep things relatable, grounded in reality. Instead of chasing clout, I try to focus and emphasize more onto, like, a lot of people, they do things to chase clout. I've been creating videos for people for well over 6 years. My channel is not monetized. I did not make single penny from my channel. So trust me, I'm not doing this for money or clout chasing. I'm doing this so that people can understand. First of all, a lot of people, they want to change the world, they want to change others, they want to change everything. They don't even understand the first thing, what is wrong and what to change. So this is my attempt, this is my effort for those people who want to understand, and instead of getting caught up into all these different pigeonholes, these conspiracy theory cesspools, these all sorts of cesspools are there. Everything is available online, internet, everything can be visible. But the thing is, people are caught up into their own hubris, into their own bubbles, so they do not see past all these things. So this is my attempt to introduce people for the first time, um, not the first time, but like, people who are caught up into all these bubbles. For them, it's for the first time. It is not the first time in the world or anything. People have existed, understood these things. People have been talking about these things for years. So this is a different thing than, like, it's not grandiose declaration for something. It is for those people who are new to the concept, that maybe they are wrong, maybe they are whatever they are caught up with is wrong. So this is my attempt for that. So how the world is fooling you isn't about blaming people or groups. It is not about pointing fingers and creating chaos and drama. Neither also what to do about it part is not about disruption either. It's not about outrage, blame, or finding someone's fault. All right, let's jump right back to the third part, the second part of this video, the section 3 of this specific slideshow. For those who are new, who did not like when I created first part, barely 5 people have watched it, and mostly I believe I was the one who clicked 5 times. But people don't like information. People don't like really. They cry, brag, they cry night and day. They want to know the truth. They want to know the reality. They're exposing. Some are exposing reality. But when you introduce people with reality, with facts, so people think that this is a very difficult thing to understand. The common mind cannot process it. People love stories, people love mythologies, people love special effects and all stuff. But when you give people directly something, only a few people take interest. On YouTube, I got 5 views, and I got views on other platforms. That's not an issue. The problem is people don't want to learn. People want to whine, moan, cause drama, attack others, attack groups, blame shift, hide behind something. All sorts of madness is there. People want to blame, and people want to play these different game. So nobody want to learn what's actually going on. What's the true reality? What is the problem? What is the solution? Instead of blaming it onto one group or one person, try to understand what's going on. Try to incorporate the truth. Try to integrate the reality. Try to join back reality once again. Try to understand where you are standing and what's the situation is, what the surrounding is, why are things are happening like that, why are they keep on perpetuating, self-perpetuating, and what can be done, what can people do to make things normalized, if not better. So this is open book for that. But I'm not sure that people are going to join, people are going to watch it, but I will still do my work. Yeah, maybe at some point somebody can see this thing, can understand this thing. Let's keep hope. Section 3. So the Lucifer effect. Why ordinary people gradually lower values and pull others along. So there's this thing called Lucifer effect. What the Lucifer effect means, it's not some mythological or your religious figure, some satanic figure, this and that. I'm not talking about that. This is a very well known term in academia, in general as well. So the Lucifer effect describes how normal people in certain environments begin to act in ways they normally wouldn't. Not because they suddenly change inside, but because the environment reshapes what feels acceptable. This idea applies to everyday modern life. So, what happens is, like I discussed in the first part of the same presentation, there are certain factors that are imposed onto people. Those factors, what they do is they contribute to disrupt the environment. I use the example of Donald Trump. How Donald Trump has been going berserk lately, and how his followers, MAGA, MAGA cult. How you pronounce that? MAGA. Okay, so how these cesspools are created, how one rather psychopathic or narcissistic leader draws into unwitting people out of defenses, sometimes out of personal. There can be n number of ways people can be pulled into something by a charismatic, rather psychopathic or narcissistic, or not up to the mark a leader, something. So, what are the repercussions of that? What are the ripple effect of that? Because when we look into the reality, truth, universe keeps accounts of everything. The information in the universe stays virtually forever, even after Big Bang or before Big Shrink. This there are all sorts of scientific terms. So all the information in the universe, it is always the same. I would not use the example of energy because at this today's present time, we have discovered, we have understood phenomena. I usually use it wrongly. Phenomena means multiple phenomena, and phenomenon is single phenomena. So I remember saying it incorrectly in one of my videos. So this is my correction here. So phenomena exists, and at today's time, we the science has advanced into, and not the science has advanced per se, the understanding of people have advanced. In the older times, if we speak in terms of classical physics, Newtonian physics, so understanding of science was way different. Everything was based around atoms and all stuff. Now today's time, we are talking in terms of quantum physics and other. There, it's not a proper like. It is the field that we study, and we call it quantum field theory, this and that, quantum physics and all stuff. But we also have, I mean, in India, we have always been talking in terms of quantum physics, believe it or not. So, what do you call that? So, there are multiple platforms, multiple ways of understanding things. And the point is, the information exists, and how this affects the day-to-day life, because what we can do with all the information, all the understanding of the universe, this and that, throughout the world, throughout the universe, beyond universe, multiverse, this and that, all sorts of concepts, is to live a good life first. Not good life does not mean a life full of riches and all stuff. That's good life for some people. There's nothing wrong in living a healthy life with proper riches, this and that. But just chasing after the materialism is, in my opinion, incorrect, wrong. So why we try to understand the universe, there's a ninth planet apparently right now that is bigger than Earth, this beyond Pluto. This is the nuances of science, by the way. Nobody knew that there existed a planet beyond, in the Kepler belt or somewhere. So all this information exists. So there's a way to use information to, for self doom, for self destruction, this and that. That's the wrong way. And there's a way to understand information in a way to integrate in life, to make life better. A lot of people, what they do with information is they run after the clout. They try to pretend somebody. They do all sorts of things. So, what is Lucifer effect? I have just covered this. Let's move on. It doesn't start with extreme behavior. So first, let's say the example of MAGA cult. I will. I always have problem in saying "Make America Great Again" cult properly. So I will use the whole thing in the future. "Make America Great Again" cult. First, it got sucked into some QAnon conspiracy theory. No. First, it got sucked into some sort of reptilian conspiracy theory, and then it got caught up into some sort of occultic conspiracy theory hosted by Alex Jones. And then I'm just Like this, it's not, the whole thing is not fabricated. I'm not saying that this thing does not exist. I'm not opposing it. I'm saying that okay, they existed, some bohemian group, this and that, they exist, these things. But what Alex Jones interpreted, I mean, he literally showed the video, so there's no denying that. And crazy people exist, cults exists, and the satanic worshippers exist. There are all sorts of things. Whatever he has said exist, they do it. But thing is, people are caught up into a different thing now. After exposing whatever hell that was, I'm not sure what it was. I live in India, so I can only understand things through internet. I watched a couple of videos I used to watch when it was getting exposed, but I don't have the slightest clue. The first thing, I don't know the first thing about that. I, uh, I mean, if somebody who's not connected with the whole thing, they can only speculate. They can only try to understand what is present in front of them. So yeah, these things exists. The problem here is there's another problem that is pretending, that is presenting itself to solve a problem, and that problem is not defining the original problem properly. Hope I make some sense here. So it's my, I'm not into all these conspiracy theories. I don't take side or left or right. I don't support any satanic cults, this and that. I'm Buddhist. I'm from in India, and I believe in science. I respect religions as much as they deserve it. I respect healthy ways of living. But the thing is, the conspiracy part, all that thing, I'm not talking about all that, because the reason for me to explain this, because a lot of time when you speak about certain things, people say, people start to project a lot of things. So I'm just trying to explain that I don't belong to any of these things. This is my understanding. I'm a independent researcher. I understand things from my own perspective, from my own point of view, and this is what I've stumbled upon, come across, and this is what I'm presenting. I'm presenting this so that it can help somebody, right? It doesn't start with extreme behavior. So first there was this all this conspiracy theory, left wing stuff, Alex Jones stuff, all sorts of things. Then there was some QAnon, there was some anonymous groups, all sorts of things, right? So slowly, people got primed into, people got sucked into, like, people start to participate into this madness. As far as the America goes, that's the American background. Other countries have their own stories. So people, they start. Uh, it does not start with extreme behavior. The shift doesn't begin with obvious harm. It starts small, cutting corners, excusing minor dishonesty, justifying rough behavior as necessary, tolerating things that once felt wrong. So slowly, people started getting hooked into all these conspiracy theories, all sorts of madness. People who are going to judge me by watching this thing, I encourage them to watch the first part. Without first part, they will not be able to understand what I'm saying here. So values get lowered gradually. Standards don't collapse all at once. This slide, what would have bothered someone before, now feels normal, unavoidable, just how things are. People adapt without marking the change. So when first all these things started, these things felt very weird. Oh, what the fuck are these people even talking about? What is going on? Who are these people? Why are they always talking about these things? But at today's time, everybody has some understanding, something, some reference point about these things. So people directly think that whatever the hell they come across that got fed into their mind, into their heads, that's the absolute reality, absolute truth. I'm trying to show people the next step, that maybe that's not the absolute truth. I mean, propagandas exists, narratives exists, they exist, they have a real uh, form. These are real world entities, but there's a reason they're called as propaganda and narratives. They're not called reality, they are not called truth. And people have confused themselves that narratives and propagandas, they are the realities, and they are taking sides and they're fighting among each other, they are blame shifting, they're doing all sorts of crazy things, and everybody is affected by it, believe it or not. So justification replaces reflection. Instead of asking, is this right, the question becomes, is this justified? Pressure, urgency, alignment provide ready made reasons. The behavior feels forced, even when it isn't. So, what I was discussing about is how people start to change their values, how the Lucifer effect start to make day to day average people subscribe to some ideology, get stuck into something, and get confused by something, opposing or supporting something, fighting, all sorts of things that waste their time. That's the baseline. Even when it's justified, responsibility gets spread thin. When many people are doing something, responsibility feels diluted. No single person feels fully accountable. Everyone's involved. This is bigger than me. I didn't start it. This makes harmful behavior easier to live with internally. So what happens is, let's say, let's pick a typical MAGA, Make America Great Again member, or any alt-right winger from other country, my country as well, and let's try to analyze his psychology beside the propaganda, beside the fake facade he has in front of camera for everybody, if Twitter account or X account, whatever the hell. This is what the values are based on. When many people are doing something, responsibility feels diluted. No single person feels fully accountable. Everyone is involved. This is bigger than me. I did not start it. I will do it. So people join groups because they want to be belonged. They want to be seen. They want to be part of something. They want to get credit. All sorts of things. And this is exactly what dooms them as well if they do it without taking in account that what they are subscribed to may not be true, may be forged, maybe a narrative only, maybe a made up something that has less to do with reality, more to do with usually engagement with some political propaganda, something. And people, they ruin their lives, ruin, destroy, not just their, even people around them, even their families and all stuff, into these things when they support or oppose, fight or this and that, debate this and that, all sorts of things. So yeah, toward the end of this slideshow you will understand that what should you do if you are feeling right now that what should we do, what options do we have. Just give me a second, let me check if my live stream is still going. Okay, it's going. Yeah, so let me keep it short. We are on the 24th slide. All right. Right. This makes harmful behavior easy to live with internally. Social pressure pulls others in. Once lowered standards become visible, they spread. People get pulled in through peer pressure. A lot of people tried to pull me into all this madness, and later on they tried to blame me that I am the one who is the mentalist or something. So people, they think that they are very cunning and quirky and all stuff. Peer pressure, shame for not participating, guilt for stepping back, fear of being seen as weak, careless, or immoral. Anticipation becomes a way to avoid social cost. Emotional forces take over. So what happens is, uh, let's say there's a MAGA member in certain area of some American, how do you call it? Downtown, uptown, or suburb? I don't know. Your rural area, and there is a normal average Joe who's busy living his life, and there's a group of these wannabe strongmen, tough guys, and all stuff, right? So and the person is living his life, dealing with his day-to-day issues, problems, taking things slowly, using his own agencies, his own understanding on things, his own life learned behavior to solve his problems. And then there comes these MAGA cult members, and they start to mock him, call him names, weak, this and that, confused, you're wrong, gaslighting, all sorts of things. So social pressure pulls others in. Once lowered standards become visible, the spread people get pulled in through. Peer pressure, shame for not participating, guilt for stepping back. You don't love your country. You don't support. Without this, we all sorts of madness. Fear of being seen as weak, careless, or immoral. Anticipation becomes a way to avoid social cost. Right? Then these things, these outside pressure, these crazy people, they know how to pull people into all these things. Emotional forces take over. At this stage, emotions do the work. Anger, resentment, hate, moral outrage. These emotions give energy and direction even when clarity is gone. People feel justified while behaving worse. So there are all sorts of people on online. If I open your Rumble or your this, some are good, some are bad, but mostly I've seen this behavior. This is like monitored, even unmodified on Rumble usually. Rumble is a good platform. The platform is very good. The problem is how it is managed. A lot of people from the right wing usually they're spewing all sorts of things. They think they are the greatest. They are speaking the greatest things, and a lot of people they are following that, like deer in the headlight, or how you call it, when somebody is totally consumed by the content. So they start to relate with these feelings. At this stage, emotions do work. Anger, resentment, hate, moral outrage. These emotions give energy and direction even when clarity is gone. People feel justified while behaving worse. Alright? People still see themselves as good. So there are a lot of crazy people. Um, should I use Donald Trump? Because everybody is calling him crazy right now. Let's use Donald Trump for a bit, just for the example sake. Let's not personally target him. So Donald Trump actually in his own head thinks he's the best person. But the things that he's doing and the people are experiencing in their day-to-day life are the two very different versions of same thing. What Donald Trump is trying to do is he's trying to virtue signal to his cult, and say that he's the good person, he's the one who takes tough decisions, this and that. But all these tough decisions, they are just making certain type of people who are not even educated properly, who are not even, who are lost into these conspiracy theories, who are lost in general, I would say. And what is this causing? This is causing unnecessary, unneeded uh, issue with people, problems with people. People are suffering. I'm not talking right now about the so-called illegal immigrants that he talks about usually. He's trying to, he took the Venezuelan president into his, people are saying that he abducted him. So what was that? And then he's talking about Greenland, taking over Greenland. Canada, he's threatening Canada, he's threatening Mexico. He's imposing all sorts of tariffs on India. What the hell is this person even doing? So in his own eyes, Donald Trump think that he's doing the right thing. His followers, they think that they are doing the right thing, but this is what they end up doing. This is the key part. Most people involved still believe they are decent. They are acting for the right reasons. They're responding, not choosing. The self image stays intact while behavior degrades. So, the good people who are otherwise good in any situation, when they pick sides, when they choose side, when they follow one ideology or other ideology, when they attack others, when they, like, everybody is a human being. That's the beginning of all the things in the world. If you don't see yourself human being, and you see yourself something superior or inferior, that's a type of diseased behavior in my understanding. That's somewhat maladaptive behavior, because the environment, it amplified that behavior, that created this madness. So the self-image stays intact while behavior degrades. Look at the Twitter of any MAGA member, and they all think they are the greatest people. They're doing the greatest thing. But look at their feeds, and you will see that how they behave actually. Mark Pescio, even people who watch my videos, they know what's what I fight against this cult of Mark Pescio. Mark Pescio thinks he's the greatest person. He never sees his behavior. He will always comment on other people's behavior, the behavior that he generates in other people, by pushing people to the edge. He satisfies his sadism and all other members of this specific cult. And he thinks, then later on, he says that there's bum fight going on. I mean, who is the king of the bums? Who is causing these people to fight? So it's hilarious. Such people, they exist. They jump ships, one ship, then other ship, then other ship, and they destroy. The trail they leave behind is destruction, total and complete destruction of the people, of the personality, and in the narratives. In their narratives, they keep playing victim. They keep blaming others. They don't see that the trail they have left behind is they're doing. It's not the people who are the problem. It's who is motivating, who is forcing his own will onto the people to behave in certain way. It's that person. So this is how harm becomes normal, not through monsters, not through sudden corruption, but through environment, pressure, justification. Gradual lowering of internal limits, that's the Lucifer effect in everyday life. So when people get caught up into all these cult like settings, all these ultra nationalist, all sorts of cesspools, I would say. See, nationalism is a feeling of an individual belonging to a nation. That's an inherent feeling of anybody. But when people, they're forced to prove their nationalism, this and that, That is not a normal right thing. That is forced thing. That is to cause pressure and all sorts of things. I've never seen a person who does not love his nation by default. I've never seen a person who respect people who love their nations by default. Never. But then there comes this ultranationalism, all this type of like in all the time, Nazis use these tricks onto people. The same thing is going on. Neo Nazis have taken over the world, I believe, and that's what they are trying to pull. Why this matters? Once this pattern is seen, a line becomes visible. Not between good and bad people, but between automatic participation and conscious choice. So, why this matters? When people confuse themselves in believing that harmful behavior is alright, this is like, if they did not wake up from that, if they thought that, yeah, this is right, this is the right behavior. So, this is why we need to wake up from that. Once this pattern is seen, a line becomes visible, not between good and bad people, but between automatic participation and conscious choice. That's all this section establishes. So, section 3 is finished. We have two more sections to cover. Yeah. So, till now, I've told you that what the problem is, why the word, how the word is fooling you. Now, I will begin the part where what to do about it. Section 4. How to stop feeding the cycle without fighting the word. There's no other way. I've been working on this problem since I was 15, 16 years old, or even younger. Because the same thing that is going on right now, it also happened in the past. And it continue happening in different forms. And the time was different, the things were different, but behavior was same back that time as well. So people need to stop feeding into this cycle. Otherwise, there's no way. There's no way this can stop automatically, and people don't even understand what they're dealing with, what they're interacting with. This is first step toward that. This is not the ultimate solution. This is the first step to make people understand. I'm not going to do your work. I'm not going to fix your things. I cannot help you. Even when I try, I cannot fix one person. I cannot help one person. But people can fix. People can help themselves. People can change. People can at least acknowledge or stop. If they cannot flip things, because what happens is once people are thinking in one way, then they think that they have to flip everything, turn around, reverse, fix everything. No. First, you need to acknowledge the real problem, the issue, the core problem of everything. Acknowledgement itself makes things like slow down when they are going at fastest speed possible, like this. The graph is going like this. So when people acknowledge, at least the graph become parallel or gradually decrease, because they know what they are participating, what they're wasting their energy into, what is causing them all this issue, what has consumed their life force, what are they feeding into. So my work here is to at least keep this thing to this. I cannot promise you to make it like this. You can do this. You can do this. First, you acknowledge it. If you cannot acknowledge it, I cannot change anything. I'm one person. I don't have a cult. I don't have following. I don't have followers. I don't get views. I don't get anything out of this. I'm doing this thing because this is my understanding, this is my belief system, this is my culture. That's the that's the whole reason for me creating all this content. And yeah, there's one more personal uh, benefit, like my profit in this is I want to live in a sane world, a world that is not crazy, that is not insane, that has not gone berserk. I want to live in a stable world. So this is my personal interest in this. So this is the cause for me. I'm not saying that I'm doing it out of all altruism and all that stuff. No, but this is what I want to do. So it's hard to explain why I do this. I do this because this is what I am. This is what I want to see in the world, to be honest. If people pick this, people want to stabilize the world, people want to take the madness to to be gone, to reduce itself. So this is my benefit. This is why I'm doing it. If I get some likes and views, if I get generate some income from YouTube or other platforms, that's very good. That's also welcome. If people give me some money, donate me something, that is also welcome. But the thing is, I'm not doing it for all that. However, I would love that as well. Not doing it for materialism, but everybody needs something to go on, and that's the main reason for me. If people are not going to give me anything, that is also fine. The content will still be stay online, and it's up to people whether to learn this or discard this. This is my contribution, at least this to keep my this is my input to the world in my own way. That's all. So how to stop feeding the cycle without fighting the world? You don't have to match the environment. Just because the environment is fast, loud and reactive doesn't mean you have to be. Matching it is optional, even if it doesn't feel that way at first. So, if some mega group member or somebody who's lost into all these things, they want to back down a little bit, you don't have to feed into that same cesspool anymore. For up to this point, or any left group, even any crazy group that's going on, that's has gone berserk, some new age group even, or some scientological group, or some conspiracy theories, any group. It's for anybody who want to understand the reality. So you don't have to continue. Just because the environment is fast, loud and reactive doesn't mean you have to be. So you don't have to prove anything to the same people who have sucked you into all these crazy things that are sucking your life force out of you. The same life force that you could have used to live a better life. Life force in every living being is given to them so that they can have a good experience of life, right? It's not here to serve some wannabe kings, some great lord, some conspiracy theorist, some figurehead, some personality cult leader. No, life force is to apply in your own life, not through solipsism, not through, uh, not out of your indifference. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the life force that you have inside you, it is for you. The God, the universe, the nature, whatever you believe in, it has given it so that you can live a life. I'm saying it slowly like this because a lot of people they don't understand this simple thing. So it's for you. If you apply the life force that is given to you, you don't waste it away. As the Western country describe this life force as libido, East has very different explanation, because libidinal force, libidinal energy, it is more seen as sexual energy or procreational energy in the Western systems. In Eastern systems, we have this Kundalini concept and all stuff. So it's not same as libido, and since I follow Buddhism, so I don't think that uh, it's a very compelling concept. By the way, it's not something to be discarded and all stuff. But I don't think it is documented. It is written everywhere. People are basing everything around this. All your what do you call it? Psychological schools. So a lot of things are based around this. I don't think that everything is connected with the libidinal energy, sexual energy, and otherwise it is negative. No, I think there's a life force, life energy that is libidinal, and all it is part of that. But libidinal, non-libidinal, anti-libidinal, that is opposite. That's most of these narcissist psychopath they have fed into. They destroy themselves and they destroy people that comes in their way, and they think that they are fixing something, and they are the Moriarty or something. No. So you are wasting your life force into somebody else's madness. You have become an accessory of a narcissist. They have instrumentalized you. Or if you're a mega member and you have come across my video and you are not believing me, just read for the first time in life what are documents saying. Not everything is wrong. Not everything is based around the exist your reptilians and all stuff. You're lost, son. You have lost. You have been fooled by a bunch of lunatics, and this is the reality. Come to reality. Understand this. Use your life force for your life, not for your narcissism, not for your false ego. Using your life force means to have a meaningful life. Life has some meaning for you, not for your neighbor, not for your uncle, aunt, not for the person you like, dislike. No, it's for you. Right? And not everything requires a reaction. A lot of damage comes from reacting when nothing meaningful is required. Most things can wait. Most things don't need your emotional energy. Most things resolve without your involvement. Learning this alone removes pressure. Let me repeat this one more time for the ones who do not believe in anything on the first go. Let's revisit this quickly. Not everything requires a reaction. A lot of damage comes from reacting when nothing meaningful is required. Most things can wait. Most things don't need your emotional energy. Most things resolve without your involvement. Learning this alone removes pressure. Stepping back is not indifference. So, a few years ago, 6 years ago precisely, I came across a crazy person. His name is Satykas Boza, and he's crazy because if you search this term Satykas Boza on internet or Black Earth Productions, you will see that how crazy this person is on camera. But I had the misfortune to know this person off camera, behind the scenes, behind his internet facade. He was horrible, horrible with me. So he was manipulating me to be one part of. He tried to make me an accessory of his cult. From the day one, I opposed his bullshit. So he was calling me these things. You are indifferent, this and that, on purpose. When I was explaining him something right, he was making everything negative, and he was feeding all the things into his fake facade. That, and he keeps on telling me that I am in this position, I have to do this, I'm in this position. And I was like, what is he even spewing? So I had 4 5 segments with this person, session or whatever the fuck he said, 8 hours. And most of the whole shit he spewed, it made me realize that there exists people who have like degraded themselves to such a level they don't even realize when they say, when they spew something, that what are they even doing. They're so disconnected, dissociated with reality, they're lost in delusion, ultimate delusion. And this is an extreme case. They existed. Other extreme cases like Mark Pescio is one of them. There's other people follow breakaway group that are deluded in different way. So Boza was saying that you are being indifferent, and I was like, what? Not wasting my time on stupid things that don't, like he was trying to suck me into his ideology. I'm from India, and he tried to suck me into his alt right ideology of America that was serving him, not me. And I was like, what the fuck is this person even saying? For half a year, 6 months, I thought really hard, sat down and thought that why does such people never realize that they are not that sleek, they're not that charismatic, they are not that important even, and they are not, and other people are not stupid, just. And these same people will preach you. If you watch their content, they will preach you that people are not moral, ethical, this and that, and they will blame others night and day for 11 hours. They will create videos and they will spew on internet that how people are bad, how people are, all the while doing all these things. And they think that when if they spew something about others, uh, people will not pay attention to what they are doing. And a lot of people who have weak minds or less education, they fall for this, sadly. They believe what these people, for their own detriment, not somebody else's something. So yeah, in the end, all the cult leaders and all the cult members, they're doomed. Look at any cult that existed in the history of humankind. Look at their cult leaders, what happened to their cult leaders, and look at to their following, what happened to their following. There was a cult leader, Hitler, and his following, Nazis. See what happened to them, right? So people think in their own head that they were cunning, they're very quirky, they're very fast thinker, they're quick reactor, they get reaction from others, this and that. They don't understand. They read a line on internet and they think that they have become something. They don't understand how these things, lost in their own faults, ego, hubris. Stepping back is not indifference. Stepping back doesn't mean you don't care, it means you are choosing where and how to care. Instead of letting urgency decide for you, there's a difference between disengagement and discernment. And like, if exist these ultra nationalistic or all sorts of anarchical or there are all sorts of cults. I did not even realize that. See, I have a master's degree in computer science, and I have spent my time studying most of the time in my life. I'm not like a bookworm or something. No, I had fun also. It was a healthy educational process. Beside the part that is not healthy for anybody in colleges, so it was a healthy experience. And when I came out of college, I started to see all sorts of cult mentality, this and that, and I was like, what? This madness also exists. This craziness also exists. So, from my first hand experience, I understand that people who used to blame that college education is not needed, this and that, look at the state of the world they've pulled everybody into right now. So, this is what happens when you are not educated. They're blaming some invisible forces, all sorts of conspiracy theories, this and that. What are they doing to the world? Do they ever count? They cannot. They don't even feel it. They don't even realize it because they are not even educated. Right? So inner silence comes from slowing the loop. When reaction slows down, thinking returns. You start noticing what's actually matters, what's just noise, what's being pushed versus what's real. Inner peace isn't added, it reappears. So when you are following like a mad dog, some cult leader, Nazis were following drugged up Hitler on meth or something. Meth. How do you call it? Methamine, the drug, crystal meth. I don't know its full name, to be honest. So, oh, how those were thinking that what Hitler was doing was the biggest and brightest and noblest cause for the world. But when the whole cult fell apart, what people actually saw was the total destruction of sanity first. Anything that had any meaning in life. When you're following like a rabid dog to a rabid leader, you have become part of a machine. You're inputting and you have become instrumentalized. You have become an accessory, a tool for that cult leader. So people did not realize this thing. So they don't understand the value of inner peace, the silence. Hitler declared himself as a noble person, as the Arya or Aryan. Aryan means people who are noble. What he actually did is he plagiarized, he stole somebody else's ideas from my culture, okay, and he twisted those ideas. He made it a symbolic presentation of something. When you live in symbols, your life become a symbol and not a process. So people who fall for symbolism, who live in symbolism, who go after symbolism, who go after cloud chasing, who pretend to be something, uh, their life lose meaning, their life lose peace, their life lose everything that makes life life. There exists a rock on the streets. Does it have a life? A rock can have many purposes. But does the rock have any life? No. Can it experience? No. So when you become an accessory, you start to lose your inner peace. You start to lose yourself. You become a tool, right? Reduce exposure is not Reducing exposure is not ignorance. Less exposure doesn't mean less awareness. It usually means better awareness. You don't need constant input to understand reality. You need space to let information settle. You actually don't even need information. You don't even need to learn from the people and all stuff. See, when you were born, or let's take an example of non-human forms like cats, dogs. So what happens is cats, dogs, their parents, they teach them all the necessary things about life, and they remember it throughout their lives, and they live a life. They don't sit around on internet, watch some social media or some crazy leader to validate their lives. No. So you don't really need so much information. Nobody needs so much information. You don't need to participate into so many things. You don't need so many news. You don't need all this madness. Whatever the hell they're doing in today's time, they're feeding their AI. plain and simple, and they are talking about general AI, AGI, or what they call it, what they have used the fancy term when they are using it. Artificial general intelligence, where artificial intelligence becomes more intelligent, the combined intelligence of human. They're feeding into that. The more you are going to react, the more you are going to feed to that. That does not exist. So just understand that I have a master's degree in computer science, by the way, so I understand this thing very deeply. Let me explain you how this thing is being perpetuated. It's speculative, not so it's a disclaimer. Use your own discernment. This is my understanding on this. Speculative mostly. Everything is speculative when you don't have, like, I don't have the inside information of all these teams, so I can only speculate so that things can make sense to me. There's nothing wrong in that, and this is how I have speculated it, and this is how they are making sense to me. That AI, they want to create an AI, a tool. It has multiple purposes that cannot be described even. It's not multifaceted even, it is multiversal, multi-universal tool. Means, if in older times people used to talk about what's a screwdriver do, screwdriver has a few purposes and they can be described, or what this fridge does, anything does, so they could be described. But AI can do, it cannot be described. It can do more, it can do even more. All right, because it's extracted intelligence that is being trained through neural networks using human intelligence and replicating and mimicking and regenerating the logical part of the life form. I don't know how many people can understand this, but this is what they are doing. They are feeding into. So it is a whole different type of, not even life form, I would say. It's substrate, I would say. And substrate is something substantial, something physical. So I don't have a terminology for this, to be honest. I would say logic, but people don't understand what logic means. Logic, people think that logic means rationality. No, logic has a different definition. I'm not talking about the day-to-day human logic and what is rational and logical. I'm talking strictly in terms of computer science, physics, mathematics. So, uh, artificial intelligence is something like that. So, what do you call when you log everything into a book, let's say encyclopedia? There's all information there. There are beautiful photos from the past, there information, detailed information, but like it can be used, or a recipe book, it can be used. In itself, it has no life form, but it has the content. So something like that. I don't know. I need to come up with a term for this. I don't have that term for this right now. So what they're doing is they're constantly using different consciousness outlets and feeding into a system, and that system is translating and accumulating and generating a neural network of information that is based, it's really difficult to put in words. So that neural network will be the replacement for the human consciousness, the consciousness in general, if I'm not mistaking. It's a very far-fetched, how do you call it even. What I'm saying is, like, take it with a grain of salt, because this is my speculation. It's not a factual information, by the way. I'm trying to speculate it, what AI is, what AGI will be, And what the hell is happening right now? Let's return back to this thing. Reducing exposure is not ignorance. So when you reduce exposure to all these internet madness, the universe, multiverse of madness, less exposure doesn't mean less awareness. It's usually mean better awareness. You don't need constant input to understand reality. You need space to let information settle. So I said that you don't even need information. So then we went to the upper end. So yeah, you don't need information. You already have information coded into your own uh, surroundings, your own DNA, your own senses. Your parents have trained you enough to have a meaningful, good life. By the way, even if you don't play all the video games, if you don't visit all sorts of this Reddit or your dark web, whatever the hell cool kids are doing today's time, you don't really need to do all that. You can do what you can do is, and there's nothing wrong if you do this. There's nothing wrong. I'm not judging you for that. The thing is, reduce the exposure. Do it in limited sense. In, like, for example, AI is all bad. I think it will be beyond bad. What we people understand bad or good, it will be beyond, way beyond. When we say that this is bad, this is too much, it will be way, way, way beyond that. So I don't even have the term for that. But I'm not saying that develop a fear, develop a confusion, or misjudge these things. Don't come crying to me, at least. I've just given you all the things how they are. Now it's your responsibility to take it, leave it, throw it away. I've given you the disclaimer that this is speculative work, it's not factual work, so it can be wrong as well. Choosing silence over performance. Not every moment needs a public position. Silence protects judgment, it protects inner boundaries, keeps you from saying things you don't fully stand behind. Act only where you actually have influence. Actually, don't act. Don't need to act. Live. So, spreading yourself across everything weakens you. Act where your actions matter. Your presence helps. Your energy isn't wasted. This isn't withdrawal, it's precision. So, a lot of people are all over the place. All over the place. All over. One day they are doing all sorts of crazy thing. One day they are preaching you hermetic principles. Other day they have become something else. No, all these things are trying to introduce you with the reality, and all what you are trying to do is trying to get sucked into the fantasies. So people are into all these things because they're trying to escape what is real. And what is real is what your life processes are, what your simple understanding about these processes is. Everything else is part of Maya. And with Maya comes Mara or Mar or suffering. Keeping your inner line intact. The most important thing to protect is the line you don't cross inside yourself. Once that line holds, everything else becomes negotiable. So, this one sentence you should keep in mind. I will explain these things in detail in the future videos. Section 5. Living a normal, natural life integrated in an abnormal environment. So, once again, we are continuing how the world is fooling you and what to do about it. And I did not tell you to go fight somebody, fight to do some, to run some sort of movement, something. No, I told you, and if you see me as a teacher, I taught you how to live a good life, how to live a healthy life. If you lived a good life, if you never lived a good life, if everybody lived a healthy life, there will be healthy people, there will be healthy environment. And it's not that it's somebody's fault that they are not healthy. No, don't fool yourself. Don't scapegoat others. Don't gaslight yourself or others. Don't be hateful. Don't be a follower of some cult, some mentality, some cesspool. Be a human. Be a human, stay a human. Let's begin from there. So, living a normal, natural life integrated in an abnormal environment. How to do that? Look at the natural beauty of the universe. Just look at this image. Who does not want to live this life? People are lost. People are lost into all these madness, all sorts of craziness that's going on in the world in today's time. And this is what people are missing. This is what people are neglecting, to be part of something else, to be a follower of some crazy mad king, when they can do this every day if they want, for the rest of their lives, every single day for the rest of their lives, or something like this, not the specific this thing, right? So here's a Buddhist reflection for this. Actually, this is the actual Buddha image from the older style Indian books, and this is what we see the classical Buddha as. So Buddhist reflection for this, Hindi. तृष्णा से शोक उत्पन्न होता है, तृष्णा से भय उत्पन्न होता है. Trishna actually means thirst, but it can also be translated as craving or hunger in the Western terms. Trishna means when you are very Trishna, and Trishna can be used interchangeably. When you are feeling very thirsty, like your throat is all dry and you want to take a sip from water. So it's that feeling when we chase after something, when we Trishna is not literal sense thirst to drink water. It's thirst for attention. It's thirst for fame, information, this. So Trishna से शोक उत्पन्न होता है. Shok means sadness. When you are thirsty, when you are running after something like a crazy animal, so you're feeling, try to notice your feeling behind that. तृष्णा से शोक उत्पन्न होता है, तृष्णा से भय उत्पन्न होता है. भय means fear, उत्पन्न means created or generated. English. From cravings comes sorrow, from cravings come fear. Letting go is not disengagement, it is mental steadiness without disturbance. It is mental steadiness without disturbance. So this is the basis of Buddhism. When you let go of the whole world, what you left behind is yourself. This is the whole sum total extraction of this whole slide is, when you let go, when you let word be word and you be you, how it is explained in psychology, psychology or psychology. I used to call it psychology. And we have, I'm from India, we have this American English and British English clash all the time. So I've heard a lot of Americans say psychology, and it is psychology. So I thought that maybe it's psychology, but there's a psychologist who say it like psychology. So I'm trying to revert back to what I used to say it. So psychology, in psychology, what we have is boundary, maintaining boundary. When you become you, you are not trying to fix anything, you are not trying to change the world. Not like how crazy people in today's time are saying that we will fix you. We will fix you. Fix you. We will not fix ourselves. We will not see our own faults. We will fix you because there's something wrong in you. Right? All sorts of veganists, all sorts of anarchists. They're trying to fix people. Mark Passio is one of such anarchists. He will do all sorts of madness onto people, and then later on he will say that nobody has this right to impose their will onto other people. And what the hell are you doing? So there exist such people, such how do you call it? Mm, Mysterious, not the correct term. Dissociated people, I would say. That's the only correct word for such people. Dissociated from their own complete total behavior, night and day. They don't even see that they exist. They are also in the picture, and how people are reacting because they came in contact with them, and they generated those reactions from those people, and now he blames those people that these bums are fighting. There's bum fight going, all sorts of madness, right? So returning to direct life, life happens where you are in the body, in work, in relationships, in ordinary time. That's where stability is. 51 short stories for a restless mind. It can be found on Amazon or Apple or Google if you like. So they are short stories, one page short story to ground people, to like whoever has this dissociation going. And I'm not claiming to fix any dissociation or cure anything, no. Sometimes what happens is when people are dissociated, disturbed, confused, lost for years, months, years. I've seen people being lost in the dissociation for a lifetime. They exist in today's time. So I have written a book where people can read off that book, and then they can return back to at least what they used to experience before all this madness. It is a little bit nostalgic. Short stories just to ground people. You can find it on Amazon. Let me advertise my book here. If I have that, or I will do it some other time. So it's 51 short stories for restless mind, for a restless mind. If you're interested, you can look it up on Amazon, Apple, or Google. It's a very cheap book. So not doing anything for, once again, materialism. It's very reasonable pricing for my work. Yeah, so life happens where you are in the body, in work, in relationships, in ordinary time. That's where stability is rebuilt. Stability over stimulation. Stimulation feels alive. Stability actually sustains life. A lot of people, they become all sorts of twisted because it gives them attention. When their life is stable and they're living a stable life, they don't like it. They don't like the feeling of it, because usually with cluster B type personality disorder people, people who love drama, who feel like they don't exist, who start to feel weird when they are alone, usually they think that stimulation feels alive. A lot of loners, they also live like this, they also feel like this. Nothing wrong in that feeling they feel, but stability actually sustains life. So if you develop a life process, then a false ego, I'm Buddhist, wearing all sorts of facade. One day you are bad mouthing a religion, a system, and other day you are wearing the satire to pretend all sorts of weirdness. There are all sorts of weird people I've come across. Trust me, all sorts of insane people. And they do such insane things, and they're fooling their own people. And if people think that, and I don't want to get exposed completely, totally, entirely, so I keep things to a lower level because maybe at some point somebody would understand, and there should be hope some for people who are hopelessly lost, I would say. Choosing stability isn't boring, it's restorative. So choosing stability means living a day-to-day life, doing day-to-day real life works that supports your life directly instead of playing video games, right? Instead of going all sorts of places and pretending to be something, all sorts of platforms, this and that. Sometimes all sorts of madness, all sorts of crazy people I've come across. Trust me. Choosing stability isn't boring; it's restorative. Doing fewer things more fully. Fragmentation comes from doing too much halfway. Integration comes from doing less. Properly, attention heals when it isn't split. So there's a thing in Buddhism. There's a Bahumukhi dhyan. Bahumukhi dhyan means a splitted consciousness or splitted attention or focus. And then there's Antarmukhi. So what we do is when we meditate, Western systems actually support multitasking. But multitasking, we are not built to do multitasking. Not inherently. Humans are not built for multitasking. Trust me, we are not creature to do things in multitasking without splitting, without fragmentation. And the Western in Western systems, this is praised for some reason. I don't know why. I did not get to the depths of this thing. But in Western systems, multitasking is praised over being simplistic, directly focused. But in the Eastern systems, we value this antarmukhi, this single integrated consciousness that we achieve through meditation, through proper behavior, through proper eating, drinking, sleeping. So when we do things like this, there are a lot of lunatics. I try to explain these ideas to them, and that person has very weird issues. So let's leave it behind. So what happens is when you sleep properly, when you eat, you will see that Indian schools, be it some philosophical school, religious school, yoga, or something, they have emphasized on this more than how I am emphasizing. And antarmukhi means single, unsplitted attention. So fragmentation comes from doing too much halfway. So a lot of people who pretend to one day they are going to some platform talking crazy about a certain topic on other platform, talking for the topic, and they think that they are the greatest. No. So when we meditate, when we do fewer things that matter, things are real, when we sleep properly, eat properly, avoid uh, crazy food, crazy stuff in general, so our life become better, we become more healthier, right? Rebuilding trust in your own judgment. When you slow down, wisdom returns. You don't need constant confirmation, you don't need alignment cues. You start trusting your own sense again. So when you start to slow things down, when you start to utilize your own agency, your own understanding on things. This, by the way, I'm speaking both in Buddhism and psychology parallelly right now. People who don't understand one thing, at least they understand other thing. So relate with either way. They're both saying same things. I'm not saying that psychology is same as Buddhism, no. But I've seen a lot of common common things in these two things because I've been following Buddhism throughout my life. I've studied psychology recently, so I'm telling you this thing that they are both saying the same things. They have very different ways. They are very different things, but ultimately, what works is what works. What your consciousness accepts is what your consciousness accepts. What it rejects is what it rejects. You start trusting your own senses again, separating what matters from what's in your face. What's loud demands attention, what matters usually doesn't. Separating what matters from what's in your face. What's loud demands attention, what matters usually doesn't. So, what really matters, it does not require all this loudness and all that's demand and all stuff. It's not entitled for anything, right? Learning to tell the difference is one of the most important skills now. So, people who know the difference between these two things, usually people don't know these things. So, even when they read this thing, they don't understand what it means. But people who know this thing, this difference, so that's where I start from all these things. Like, that's the step one for this thing. Choosing long term sanity over short term relevance. Relevance fades quickly, sanity compounds. Choosing sanity may cost attention, it gives back a life. So, a few years ago, everybody was into New Age. Everybody was into this. What was the term for that? Law of attraction. I got sick of all those people who were talking about law of attraction. It was very relevant, and everybody was participating into law of attraction. And then that phase has faded away now. Then people became member of QAnon, conspiracy theorists, this and that. So people always try to be relevant what's currently trending, and that's where they make mistakes. So relevance fades quickly, sanity compounds. If you be you, integrated you don't try to fit in, you don't try to become what you are not because of lunatics around you, because of crazy leaders around you. Choosing sanity may cost attention, it gives back a life. People will not understand this simple line. Read it again and let's move on. Living quietly without disappearing. This isn't about hiding or withdrawing from society. It's about living without turning your life into a performance. You can be present without being consumed. I've created this, like, you may see that I've created these slides very big and very skip kept them very simple. There's a reason for this. Because how word is fooling you and what to do about it. A lot of people try to make you conspiracy theorist. Others try to make you join some cult. So all sorts of madness is there. That is not the solution. This is the solution. Okay. So this is why I'm keeping this so that people can read this. Rebuilding trust in your own judgment. Separating what matters from what's in your face. Living quietly without disappearing. Integration is not an achievement. It's not for your ego boosting. It's for your own healthier process function. Integration isn't a finish line, it's a daily orientation towards sanity, towards restraint, toward a meaningful life. Read it. This is enough. And that's all. That's enough. You don't need all these other things. You don't. You can participate in other things as well if you want to, but you don't really need to. As long as they're healthy. You don't need to fix the system. You don't need to convince everyone. You don't need to carry the world on your shoulders. Living well, clearly, and sanely is the only thing you can do, and which is already a meaningful contribution. If you live a healthy life, you are the healthy environment, not greedily, not fooling others, not wishing bad on others, coexisting. That is what fixes the environment. And people think that they should be healthy, they should steal, they should grow, and they scapegoat the person who's actually for the first time in life, in their whole life, whole existence, help them. That's what makes the world an unhealthy place. People can be healthy. They can be America as a sovereign nation, and then there can be Greenland as a sovereign nation, right? But people don't like it because that's not according to their bubble, the cult, the groups. Yeah, so let's stop here. The slideshow has ended, and so is this live stream presentation. I will come. I will present. I will produce more content like this in the future. Wow, nobody has actually joined my live stream today, and that's great once again. So, if you come across my live stream at some point or not, it's up to you. Subscribe to my channel or share my videos if you want to. If you don't want to, if you don't like it, that's okay. I will stop here. Thank you so much for joining, but nobody has joined it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks so much.